Hello students, today we are going to discuss about the packaging of DNA inside a nucleus. So as we discussed the structure of nucleus already, now today we will discuss about the packaging of DNA. In this packaging of DNA, how the DNA is packed inside the nucleus. What we all are knowing, if we do the calculations, what we will come to know, in case of a mammalian cell, that is in case of mammals or human beings, in case of a mammalian cell, there is a length of, if we are considering human cell, the length of our genome is 6.6 into 10 raised to power 9 base pairs. Okay, and if we multiply it by the distance between the two base pairs, what we are getting, the distance between two base pairs is 0.34 into 10 raised to power minus 9 meter per base pair. Okay, so if we calculate, if we simplify this, so what we are getting is 10 raised to power 9 and 10 raised to power minus 9 will cancel out. So value which is coming, it is 6.6 into 0.34, that is 2.24 meters. That means a very long DNA is present inside a very small nucleus. So nucleus dimensions are 10 raised to power minus 6 meters. That means nucleus is very small. Nucleus is of a size of microns and it has to hold this long 2.24 meter long DNA in it. So how it is possible? So it is made possible with the help of certain basic proteins. These basic proteins are named as histone proteins. These are called as histone proteins. So these histone proteins are actually containing rich amount of two amino acids, two type of amino acids. One is the lysine, Lysine. One is the lysine, and second one is arginine, Argenine. This lysine and arginine, they are having the residues with them, due to which this histone proteins are developing a positive charge over them. So positive charge comes on the histone proteins because of this arginine and lysine. The second thing is what? The DNA which we are knowing. The DNA molecule for which the packaging we are studying here, it is itself a negatively charged molecule. So what happens? The histone proteins which are present here, these histone proteins are coming in group and they are forming an octamer. If we say this is a group of these histone proteins. This group of these histone proteins are coming, they are forming the four type of proteins are coming together, and these four type of proteins are having, each is having two molecules with it. So they are coming and they are joining with each other here, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So we are just labeling them as, this one is H2A, this one is H2B, this one is H3 and this one is H4. That means two molecules of H2A, two molecules of H2B, two molecules of H3 and two molecules of H4. They are coming together and they are forming a octamer. This is called as octamer. So octamer, the 8 molecules of these histone proteins are grouping together. Now what happens? Over these protein molecules or these histone protein molecules, the DNA will now wrap. DNA will show its coiling. So this is, suppose this is one of the protein molecule, that is 8 molecules of histone proteins are there. So DNA, what happens? DNA enters from one end, then it coils over it, coils, surrounds, and then again coils and comes in this way and moves out from here. So in this way, what is happening here? The DNA is taking full and one and a half turn it is taking, and as a result, what happens? This DNA is coiling this or enclosing this entire structure. This structure we are considering as nucleosome. Now, this coiling is folded by one more histone protein. It is called as H1. It is called H1. So ultimately what will happen? This DNA, it is moving forward. Now one more, this octameric unit is there. This DNA again used to move from here. It will come from this side. It will coil it and it will again emerge out in this way. Okay, and here one more H1 protein is present to bind it. This DNA will again move in forward direction. In this way, what happens? The continuously, this DNA keeps on coiling on the this DNA keeps on coiling on the this octameric unit, and result is what? Which is forming the nucleosomes. So these models which are produced here, these we are considering as nucleosome. So these are nucleosome only which are helping the DNA molecule or the larger DNA molecule to pack inside a small nucleus. Now, in a DNA molecule, in a nucleosome molecule or in this structure of nucleosome, about 200 base pairs are used up. So 200 base pairs are used up. In this 200 base pairs will be of two categories. That is 166 base pairs are used to wrap this octamer unit, and 34 which are left out of this 200, they will be in the middle. These are called as linker DNA. This one is called as linker DNA. So linker DNA about 34 base pairs, and remaining 166 base pairs are coming here. It is 166 base pairs. So as a result, what happens? This new what we are calling as this larger DNA molecule will get packed inside the small dimensioned nucleus. Correct? Now what happens when these nucleosomes will form in a chain? So it will look like that there is a string which is having large number of beads over it. It is having large number of beads over it. So it's a string containing beads. So a string containing beads structure will be observed under the electron microscope. And this structure we are considering as chromatin. It is CHROMATIN. Now this chromatin will turn into chromosome at the time of cell division. So what happens at the time of cell division? The further coiling of this chromatin will start. Chromatin will start coiling, and result will be till the M phase of mitosis or meiosis, it will be seen as a chromosome, most condensed form. So its condensation occurs because with the help of certain proteins called as non-histone chromosomal proteins. Non-histone chromosomal proteins. These non-histone chromosomal proteins, what function they are performing? These non-histone chromosomal proteins are actually helping this chromatin to pack in the form of a chromosome. Okay. Now one more thing which is coming here. When this chromatin will be packed, it is under the saturation, means under the position or in the process of the packaging. Then at that time what happens? At certain places the packaging becomes very dense, and certain places packaging is far or rare. So where the density is more, these parts are called as transcriptionally inactive parts. These are transcriptionally inactive part. This transcriptionally inactive part means they are not going to take part in the process of transcription, but this straight chain, that is called as transcriptionally active part. This is the transcriptionally active part. So transcriptionally inactive part is also given name as, it is heterochromatin. HETEROCHROMATIN. And these active parts are called as euchromatin. They are given name as euchromatin. CHROMATIN. That means what? Euchromatin are those parts where color will be light when we stain this chromatin, and heterochromatin are those parts their color will be darker when we stain these chromatin. and ultimately this darker colored heterochromatin, where the chromatin is tightly packed, they will not be able to show the process of formation of messenger RNA, and as a result what happened, they are not taking part in the process of transcription, while at the another end the loosely held chromatin part, which is we are considering as the euchromatin, which is the active part, this will help in the formation of messenger RNA, that means in the process of protein synthesis. Okay, so this is all about the packaging of DNA. Now next topic we will discuss about the DNA replication and all.